best pro wrestling podcast. What else?
Well, you know, you're exactly right.
Absolutely.
Sammy Wow Wow.
Knee to the face.
Welcome to the best pro wrestling podcast, and we're about to hit you with a knee to the face of WrestleMania previews. We got a lot to talk about this week, obviously, so we should just jump right into this thing. I'm Tommy Stryker. Joining me is Taco.
What up?
Joe is here.
I'll get this out of the way. Happy Rusev Day, boys.
Oh,
Happy Rusev Day. Yes. But yeah, WrestleMania is coming up this weekend. Going to talk about that, preview the whole show. NXT Takeover New Orleans. That's coming up Saturday. We'll talk about that. Before we get into all of that, we'll do a quick preview of a bunch of indie stuff that's going on WrestleMania weekend. Want to talk about that. And I just wanted to say hello, thank you, and welcome to all the new listeners. If you are new to the show, make sure you, if you like the show, share it, talk about it on social media, rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. Help us out. Spread the word about the greatness of the best pro wrestling podcast.
Hashtag the best.
So, yeah, that would help us out greatly. We would really appreciate that. So, yeah, where do we start here with WrestleMania week? I kind of want to just, before...
Might as well go in order.
Yeah, well, that's why I kind of wanted to do this indie stuff first and get that out of the way, because I know there's a lot of fans obviously traveling to New Orleans that
already out there
are curious to see some of these indie shows. And granted, this list is not going to be a complete thing by any means. There's some really great sources out there where you can find more information about indie stuff going on this weekend. The Voices of Wrestling flagship podcast did a 3-part 9-hour series breaking down damn near every show of the weekend.
Wow.
So you can get a lot of information there. I believe they have a breakdown on the website as well. I didn't have time to check that out yet, but I did some of my own research and got some nice little highlights that
I bet like the room that they had to like plan that all out looked like one of those like crime scene rooms where they have like safety pins everywhere and the string going everywhere across the maps. Like, this part of New Orleans, this is going on. What time? What time?
Yeah, apparently he did it over several days, several different sessions with different contributors to their website and podcasting network. So awesome job on that over there. So check that out if you're into that stuff.
I would have gave up after one event.
Well, it was. I spent a couple hours just putting together this one sheet of notes with a couple of highlight matches from each show. So they put in a lot of work over there.
And when he says one sheet, it's front to back, too.
Yeah, front and back, both sides of like 3 days of indie stuff going on. So let's get into some of that. We also talked about this on Strong Honor, so I'm going to try to avoid some of the repetitiveness because we talked about the New Japan guys on that one. Obviously, we talked about Ring of Honor and Supercard of Honor over there. And one more slight variation before we get into this. Match of the week last week from Sakura Genesis, Marty Scurll versus Will Ospreay for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. Great 5-star match from that show. If you want to hear more about that, definitely go check out Strong Honor this week. Marty Scurll's got a big Ring of Honor championship match coming up this weekend versus Dalton Castle. So we get into all of that, all the Kenny versus Kenny Omega versus Cody Rhodes stuff, all the stuff that's going on in the Bullet Club, and those guys that you can check out around the weekend here, WrestleMania weekend as well. So we did talk a little bit of Evolve on that show, but they got the show Evolve 102 on Thursday. The 5th, Zack Sabre Jr., who just had a championship match in New Japan, takes on Matt Riddle, former MMA guy. A.R. Fox.
That's going to be such a good match.
Yeah. A.R. Fox is going to take on Will Ospreay. A.R. Fox, another guy who's been doing stuff in Lucha Underground and all over the indie scene. Really great, talented guy. That should be a hell of a great, athletic, high-flying display between those two. The Golden Lovers are going to make an appearance on the WrestleCon Super Show. They're taking on Chucky T and a mystery partner, and Jeff Cobb is taking on Tomohiro Ishii. Being a bit repetitive, we talked about some of these.
Battle of the Brutes.
Over there on Strong Honor. Beyond Wrestling, Deonna Purrazzo in a intergender match versus Matt Riddle, and Tony Storm in an intergender match versus Timothy Thatcher. This is a Thursday night midnight show for Beyond Wrestling. These ones some of these I should mention also, not only if you're going to be in New Orleans, but if you're just trying to watch these streamed live, there's a couple of interesting ways you can do this. WWN is doing a lot of these on their streaming service, and what I would recommend if you're kind of overwhelmed and don't have time for all of this stuff over the weekend, but you want to check it out, if you wait 2 weeks, you can just sign up for the $9.99 WWN monthly thing, and then all of this stuff is going to be, all the WWN stuff, I should say, is going to be on demand on their website or on, their streaming service for the one price. Whereas now, like, the best way to do it now is to either pay per each one, or you get their streaming service and you get half price on the $15 for the pay-per-view. Or actually, a really good way to do it is if you're brand new to the Fight TV app, when you first sign up, I forget what the deal is, but like basically everything you buy within the first 24 hours of signing up, they will match you with a credit to buy something else. So if you if you buy 3 shows on the Fight TV app, you'll get 3 shows at that same price for free. Okay. So you can really kind of save some money if you're looking to check out a lot of these shows by, setting up a new account with the Fight TV app. So a couple of different ways to find some stuff there. Friday, we've got the Impact versus Lucha Underground show. This is at 9 p.m. and it's going to be free on Twitch to stream. So that's pretty cool. Somehow they're going to do Johnny Mundo versus Johnny Impact.
They are?
I saw it advertised. I don't. And also the big match, Sami Callihan versus Eddie Edwards. This is coming off of Callihan busting Eddie Edwards' face with a baseball bat. But this time it's going to be Sami Callihan as Jeremiah Crane from Lucha Underground. But still, it's interesting there. And those are the only 2 I noted. But I know, Taco, you mentioned that there's a couple of other interesting things.
There's some good ones.
I just saw a big one. It's OVE against returning Teddy Hart, of all people, and give me the fucking mic, Scott Steiner.
So that'll be very interesting too. So again,
you should have some fucking sirens on blast for that.
Impact and Lucha Underground bringing interesting stuff streaming for free over there on Twitch.
What was the one I'm trying to find the one? Yeah, this is the one I'm looking at. It's Austin Aries and Phoenix versus Alberto El Patron and Pentagon.
Yeah, so
holy shit!
It's interesting because Phoenix and Pentagon are like a tag team outside of Lucha Underground, but I think inside the world of Lucha Underground, they tend to be against each other. But they're against each other here in this match. But it's interesting because, like in AAW, for instance, they're like the Lucha Brothers. They're a team. So it's kind of interesting seeing them go against each other in this situation. And again, with the championships situation with Alberto and Austin Aries, that makes for interesting stuff there too.
I just love Pentagon. I don't know what it is about that guy, but he's so fucking scary.
Then also Friday, this time at noon, The Crash, a Lucha promotion. That's going to have Pentagon versus Austin Aries straight up in a singles match.
Nice.
And then a fun 4-way match, if you're familiar with Lucha Underground and some of these indie stars. Daga versus Brian Cage versus Sami Callihan versus Willie Mack. So that's a really cool 4-way match there. Evolve 103, 3 p.m. on Friday. Darby Allin versus Walter. That's an interesting matchup from that show. Walter, the big bruising, fucking hits you hard guy, and Darby Allin, kind of the smaller. I don't know, kind of like a goth. We just saw him at an indie show the other day. The 3 of us in that match with Sami Callihan, right?
Yeah.
So how would you describe the Darby Allin gimmick? Kind of like a goth skateboarder type
emo
guy?
punk, right?
Yeah. And so him versus Walter, I think, is a really interesting matchup there.
Yeah, Walter's gonna fucking eat him.
Indie show wise.
I got one more for that Impact and Lucha that I pulled up, but I like this. This is for the Impact World Tag Team Championships, but LAX versus Killshot and the Mac. Right?
That's very interesting.
Killshot is Shane Strickland, if I remember
correct. Yes.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun.
Yeah, that'll be really cool. And I'd like to see them kind of maybe win the Impact titles. Yeah, that'd be
bring
really
them
cool.
to Lucha Underground, bring them to Impact. I love it.
Yeah, or just bringing those guys into the Impact world, I think would be kind of cool. Joey Janela Spring Break number 2 brought to you by GCW. Again, GCW is also doing this Matt Riddle Bloodsport. I didn't talk about that here, but we talked about that on Strong Honor. Some cool stuff going on there, some Kumite style stuff with no ropes matches and whatnot if you're into that kind of stuff. But GCW is bringing you Joey Janela's Spring Break 2, so this will be live on Fight in WWN, but I believe after the fact, after it airs, you won't be able to get it on WWN since it's a GCW show. I think you'll have to get it on Smart Mark Video, possibly High Spots at some point, if you don't get to see the Joey Janela stuff live. This is a midnight show, Friday night, so it's going to be fucking insane. They did the clusterfuck match. They're bringing that back this year.
Right.
James Ellsworth is going to take on Matt Riddle. Joey Janela is taking on the Great Sasuke in the main event, so fun stuff there.
They should have a Mate match.
They should. Also from Friday, the Progress show. This one's going to be taking place noon and Saturday. They have shows both days, but on my notes I couldn't find cards, but I know Taco, you found some Progress stuff.
Oh man, you should have had me fucking warned.
I thought I said something before
you
the
were
show.
pulling that up when I was bringing it up.
No, well that was because I couldn't find it over here, but you had it on the Twitter.
Oh, yeah, I was doing the distraction technique. Like,
sorry,
my Twitter.
My bad.
And I'm doing the distraction technique to the audience right now as I pull it up, and it fucking worked.
I can.
On April 7th, it's Will Ospreay. I'm not too familiar with this guy, but Austin Theory is their big match.
Okay, that's the Saturday show.
And then April 6th, we have Matt Riddle against Jimmy Havoc, so that should be a good one.
Right.
Grizzled Young Veterans on the April 6th show. Sticking with that one. Grizzled Young Vets against Mustache Mountain.
Okay.
So that's kind of part of that WWE deal they must have worked out with Progress.
Right. And Pete Dunne's defending the UK title, isn't he?
Against Mark Andrews and that British cat, Flash Morgan, is going to be a triple threat there.
So cool stuff on them Progress shows. Yep. And Progress is, again, another one of those promotions where I have just not had time to get to that I've always hear great things about and just haven't had a chance to see them.
April 7th show is also Walter against Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, okay. Oh, Jesus. That'll be a lot of fun. Other stuff from Saturday. Shimmer 100. This is a WWN deal. There's just some names that are on the show. I don't have a card, but Deonna Purrazzo, Toni Storm, Tessa Blanchard, Mercedes Martinez, Kimberly, Leva Bates, Veda Scott, Mia Yim. So lots of names on that Shimmer show. CZW is going to have Sami Callihan versus Joey Janela and Will Ospreay versus Desmond Xavier. A couple of really great high flyers there. That's a 3 p.m. show. CZW is probably going to be available on their own streaming service and probably after the fact on High Spots. So there's that. The Pro Wrestling Revolver Pancakes and Pile Drivers show. This is a morning show on Saturday morning.
We went to Prince's house and he served us pancakes.
So this is a combination of Pro Wrestling Revolver, Fight Club Pro, and AAW. This is a big super show with a bunch of stuff. Big headline match from this show, Jeff Cobb versus Shane Strickland. So that should be pretty cool. Style Battle Season 1 finale is an 8 p.m. show on Saturday. This is again on WWN and Fight. They're going to have a big 8-man tournament, and Matt Riddle versus Keith Lee, or I'm sorry, Matt Riddle and Keith Lee are both involved in that tournament with a potential to face off with one another. Also, of course, Saturday, Ring of Honor and NXT going head to head with each other, and then Saturday night at midnight, Kaiju Big Battle.
Oh yeah, there's the show of the week.
Free on Twitch as well, so stay up late watching your NXTs and your Ring of Honors on Saturday and cap off the night with Twitch.
What time is that on?
That's at midnight, 11:55 is what they advertise for Kaiju Big Battle.
Keep your eyeballs peeled on Twitter for Twitch dates. Twitch is free to watch live, but you can't really go back and rewatch them. So.
Right. And
that's how I'm going to watch that lucha stuff.
How would you guys describe Kaiju Big Battle?
It's if you could put a whole city in the middle of the ring and let two kaijus go at, 2 big monsters go fight at it, and
how I
in
describe
ridiculous
it,
fucking suits.
how I describe it is if you've ever seen the show, the original Power Rangers show, at the end when they make everything big, it's that.
It's that.
It's just that. That's all you need.
All right, then moving.
There's a thing about this show, though. Okay, it's like I try to dig into it a little bit because this is one thing I found in fucking high school, like fucking over 10 years ago now, and it amazes me that's still around. But I'm trying to figure out like who's involved with this. Who's Dr. Cube? Like, what stars have been under the mask that we might know? There's no answer to that. Well, and I love it.
I think Kota Ibushi did the one last year, but I never ended up seeing it. So,
well, I'm talking about like 2005 era,
right.
When it like first was coming out, like when it was just kind of like the skate punk world was like, check out this shit. So it's like I want to know who's under that shit that might be like, oh, that was fucking Kevin Owens. Like,
so if you're not into the Kaiju Big Battle, also free on Twitch Saturday night. This one's at 11 p.m., so 1 hour after NXT and Ring of Honor. House of Hardcore. This is Tommy Dreamer's promotion. So we got some fun stuff on this one, too. We've got a Bourbon Street fight between the Killer Elite Squad. That's Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Lance Archer versus Tommy Dreamer himself teaming up with Billy Gunn. So a street fight between...
I think Billy Gunn still just pops up randomly, New Japan Royal Rumble, just popping over here.
I thought you were going to say pop steroids randomly.
Another
Protein
fun,
post.
another fun match here. The clash of Impact stars Austin Aries and Brian Cage, and then some other stars on this show: Carlito, MVP, the Rock and Roll Express, Sammy Callahan's there, Willie Mack, and of course Hornswoggle at the House of Hardcore show. So fun stuff to watch there too. Again, Google is your friend. Find all this stuff there, and check out that Voices of Wrestling preview if you've got 9 hours free to get into that. All right,
let me borrow a few hours, please.
yeah, exactly. What I think I'm going to do is kind of what I was talking about. Maybe wait to kind of hear what the internet is rumbling about, people that were there live, what they are saying is really good, and say, okay, I'll, WrestleMania weekend, I've got way too much on my plate between NXT, Ring of Honor, WrestleMania itself.
I got my path set. It's just where I'm going to take a little detour.
Exactly. So I definitely want to check out some of that stuff, but I might wait a week or two after, maybe do the WWN thing where I can just pay $10 and watch it all on demand that way, or a bunch of it anyway. So, but I'm definitely interested to check out some of those free Twitch things.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be on.
If I'm ready to if I'm available to watch it while it's on live or whatever, because the Saturday night's going to be crazy with Ring of Honor and NXT at the same time.
Doesn't hurt to go back onto the Twitch though and make sure that you don't need to subscribe to it. Actually, subscribe to it, because I believe like a House of Hardcore, I believe Tommy Dreamer keeps it open so anybody can watch it.
So there you go.
So but then like AEW they don't, or Wrestle Circus doesn't.
Well, there you go.
So
let's move this thing along. Let's get into the WrestleMania. This is what everybody's here for, the WrestleMania preview and predictions.
Is that this weekend?
That's coming up this weekend, brother.
Oh, shit.
Now,
shouldn't have booked that trip to Impact.
Now, let's have an on-air production meeting here, because typically we go through Raw, maybe do some predictions there. We go through SmackDown, do some predictions there. We could do that. We could touch on stuff that happened on Raw and SmackDown, or we could just jump right into the WrestleMania predictions.
Raw was neat. SmackDown was mediocre. Fucking watch 205.
Yeah, absolutely. 205 Live was really good this week.
I'm a taco.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I mean,
let's hit WrestleMania.
The notable stuff that was from Raw and SmackDown this week we'll hit in the preview itself for WrestleMania, because really, what's to break down about what happened on Monday Night Raw? We had the face-off between Brock and Reigns again. More Ronda Rousey stuff. That awkward fucking press conference thing.
Fucking shout out to that fucking Seth Rollins and Finn Balor match. So
yes.
That thing went how many commercial breaks? Like, fucking that's the shit you need to do for your go-home shows. Like, I almost wish Natty and Charlotte got that treatment on SmackDown, because they had a good fucking match going on too. So
yeah, that wasn't horrible.
But it's just like Sling TV users, we kind of got burnt on SmackDown this week, but did we really, or did they do us a favor? Okay, like I tweeted about it. I was like, well, I might as well fucking watch New Japan again, and I did. I made homemade pot pies from scratch. Thank you, Sling TV. But
Sling was having some issues. It was difficult to watch.
But I got
SmackDown.
back to it this week, and I was like, well, fuck SmackDown, and I tested it, and it was working at that time. But I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna watch 205, and I'm so fucking glad I did. It was such a good episode, start to finish, and just that main event was. I wasn't expecting such a good match between Buddy Murphy and
205.
I'm fucking tagging it.
A cruiserweight.
Kalisto.
Since you're talking about it, we'll just jump right into the 205 Live.
It's worth talking about before we go to Mania, though.
Sure, absolutely.
This match was just so fucking awesome, and it's so great to see the progress that these guys have been doing. And, we've talked about it like, empty arena, the crowd's just not into it.
Crowds are getting hot for 205.
They should move 205 before SmackDown, where they're filing in, and they're rowdy, and they're excited. I think last night just proved it, that it was kind of like going to a no-name stand-up comedian show where you're like, ha, 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 and then you're fucking crying with laughter by the end of it.
There were Fight Forever chants.
They were getting Fight Forever. People were standing for them, out of their seats, hooting and hollering. That
one guy was super happy with Buddy Murphy winning.
Maybe a little
stroking
too happy.
His beard a little, looking a little interested.
But yeah, it was just, it wasn't your typical 205 guys, or it wasn't, bring in Roddy Strong and Pete Dunne to have a fucking great match kind of situation. No, it was fucking Buddy Murphy and, Kalisto. Yeah, he has great matches and everything, but god damn, man.
Well, it's nice because the chains are off. They're letting him go out there and have good matches and it's not your typical fucking Raw and SmackDown TV matches with commercial breaks and predictable spots. They're telling stories. I mean, this Buddy Murphy thing, he won the 4-way. Now he's getting a shot at the former Cruiserweight champion. So they're telling a story of momentum with Buddy Murphy going along here. So that's really cool.
Well, I like how he's calling out people too to prove himself in that sense. And so, just him laying down Murphy's Law, struggling to get it, though. It was fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah. That even was part of the story. Like, he hit Murphy's Law, but Kalisto is, like, struggling to not get hit with Murphy's Law. So it ended up being sloppy, but it still delivered, and he gets the win or whatever.
Shit like that, where it's just like, no, boom, hits it anyways.
And, I mean, everything they did on this show, the tag rematch from a couple of weeks ago with the conflict between those guys, and those guys were fucking beating the shit out of each other.
And I don't even think that's that's not a WrestleMania story. This is just a continuing story for 205 Live, and I love what they're doing with Hideo being that asshole, but Tozawa's not. Like,
you saw it out of him.
I know
this
is
time,
the first time this week he actually attacked with Hideo at the end.
Let's not talk about Raw or SmackDown. Go to 205.
Talk 205 Live.
But it's important. It's go home shows for those two big shows. But 205 really stuck out. You know, and I really liked it too. That Clinton Dix, Drake Maverick, his promo after the main event match too, where you could still see that there was that anger in his voice that the match was going to be on the pre-show of WrestleMania, but never said it. He never said nothing negative. He only hyped up the product, hyped up his boys, and hyped up Mania while still hyping up the main eventers.
And just trying to urge people to tune in
early
so you can see the show, see the match.
Though, like, it was such a great fucking promo to end the show with him.
Yeah, I agree. And him urging people to tune in early to see the match because, these Cruiserweight matches have been delivering finally, and they're really going to – I feel like those two are going to have a hell of a match on the show. I don't necessarily think that they will I don't think they'll have the best match of the night. I think it'll be really good.
Keep those reins down and give them 3 of them. Fuck yeah, those dudes had a match of a fucking year candidate earlier this year already. So, they have the chance.
Well, since we are here and I don't have my.
And that's how fucking Taco segues in 205 live to WrestleMania.
Nice.
So since we're here talking Cedric Alexander,
please tell me you have a Kid Rock fucking clip like ready, locked and loaded.
No, I do not. But we're talking cruiserweights and we're talking WrestleMania. We might as well dive in. We're on the pre-show. Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali. Taco, let's start with you.
Man, a couple of months ago, I would have been going Cedric Alexander, but Mustafa Ali really fucking won me over, so I'm rooting for him.
Mustafa Ali, that's my boy, baby. He's been my cruiserweight on my fantasy team, and I, again, love the story that they're fucking telling. Fuck you, Taco.
Yeah, Cedric Alexander had a lot of momentum when it was still Enzo as champion, but through the tournament here, and Mustafa Ali has really kind of stood out as he's become a star.
I think he separated himself with his promos too, just because Cedric Alexander, I mean, great wrestler. He's just kind of bland. It's not that he's bad. It's kind of boring with, what was it, 2 or 3 times where it's just him walking in and sitting down and kind of taking that like breath and then going into his thing. And it's like, it didn't work for me. But again, amazing in the ring though. So I still think they could steal the show, man. I really feel they could, but it's about time.
It'll be good to see. But yeah, again, what's the atmosphere like during the pre-show? I think that plays into it a little bit too.
I think people are going to be a little more psyched this year than normal, I believe.
Hopefully. Well, I think with that big Austin Aries and was it Neville last year?
Yeah.
For that being on the pre-show, and that had a lot of buzz coming out of WrestleMania, so maybe more people will be hyped and ready to go.
I will be watching live. I'm going to watch it as live as possible.
I'll try. We'll see what time I get done with. Again, I work weekends. I don't know what time I'm getting home.
This guy.
It's going to be a tough row to hoe this weekend.
Took a page out of Joe's book. I took the day after WrestleMania off. I was like, fuck that.
I am off tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I'm going to be watching Twitch like nonstop.
Hey, Joe, on Monday after WrestleMania, you want to go to the Mall of America and recreate the scene from Mighty Ducks?
Yes, I do.
So my emotional pick, I'm with you guys. I want Mustafa Ali to win, but I'm going to go ahead and predict Cedric Alexander gets this one. That's the story that they were telling there. Let's stick with the predictions. Pre-show, we've got the
Battle Royals.
Both the Battle Royals. We've got the Andre the Giant Battle Royal and the Women's Battle Royal.
I'm not upset about these being on the pre-show.
No, not at all.
Good move.
They are what they are. They haven't done anything really with the winners of them.
I'm really sick of them saying that they have built these careers off of them.
This helps cement their career.
This is garbage.
Yeah,
it hurts
Baron
them.
Corbin's a former Money in the Bank.
Yeah, Baron Corbin had the trophy for like a month after WrestleMania, and then
Mojo's going for
disappeared.
2 in a row.
Yeah, who cares, right? So, who do you pick for the fucking men's? Does anybody care? Because it doesn't mean anything, right?
I'm just gonna go yes, because Matt Hardy's gonna win. That's all I got.
Tago.
Tataka.
Clinton Dix.
Nice.
Oh, if only it was in like Green Bay.
No, I really do hope that if they are pushing that cements a career legacy or something, I kind of hope maybe a Mojo or Corbin does win it again and they do take it serious from now on out. I highly doubt
that'd be nice, but yeah. Well, let's talk about some potentials here. We could see some NXT people, possibly. We could see some surprises. We could see like a
Tatanka.
We could see Tatanka. We could see Jeff Jarrett.
Didn't they say they're going to bring in for the women's the NXT chicks?
I think they might have to be just because there won't be very many of them in there.
I'd like to see a Bianca Belair. I mean, she's green, but I'd like to see her in the Rumble.
Well, let's stick to the men's side for now.
I imagine that they would bring in some NXT guys if they bring in some of the ladies in too.
I think what's his name? If Galloway, McIntyre, Drew McIntyre, if he's healthy, that's a possibility, I think. Although I think they might want to bring him up with a little more fanfare with the star power of him being what he did on the Indies and NXT. I think maybe just throwing him in the Battle Royal would be. I think it would be a bad idea for just the casual WrestleMania, the casual fans that aren't as familiar with what he did.
He would be shuffled in the crowd and then to be, that 3MB guy is
right,
back.
Exactly. He should be brought up with a little more fanfare and video packages, I think, to get the casuals up to speed on where he's been and what he's doing.
The casuals.
Yes. But that's a possibility.
Bring my caviar.
Samoa Joe is a possibility, although I think he's more of a Raw after WrestleMania kind of a guy to bring back.
Or Braun Strowman's partner.
Braun Strowman's partner is another one.
Braun Strowman.
So we'll get into all of that. But, yeah, I don't know who to pick. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. How about Bray Wyatt, who is now broken. Broken Bray Wyatt. No, so that's going to be my pick. So the women's battle royal, here the only thing I really want to see is Bayley and Sasha to get some sort of, not closure obviously, but storyline advancement on their story. I feel bad for them because, I mean, they've built up this story over the past year or so. Ronda Rousey comes in and takes a spot at WrestleMania. I could understand some heat being created there.
Well, you can still continue the story onto Backlash.
I know.
Well, and I like the idea of that it coming down to those two. You could do just like Shawn Michaels and Undertaker did that Royal Rumble. We got a Rumble, and then we got like a 25-minute match out of Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. It doesn't have to be as long, but like you said, give us the closure. Give us 10 minutes of those two battling it out for that last spot.
I know the two of them are badass together, so it'd be just awesome seeing them clean house together and then boom,
get
lock
down
eyes,
to the face off. Yeah, that
like
would be.
If WWE doesn't want to give us time, we're gonna make.
I mean,
our
without
time.
Nia Jax in it, technically, you don't have that big girl to toss up. Oh God,
I don't know. Is she in
I'm
it?
sad.
She's injured, I think.
I think so too. Yeah. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the actual WrestleMania card.
We're gonna see Iconic Duo at WrestleMania.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Let's start at the well. First of all, what do you guys think is going to be the main event? I'm going with Lesnar and Roman Reigns. I think that's what they're going to do. I think a lot of people would like to see AJ and Shinsuke close out the show. Some people have the opinion that the mixed tag match might close out the show.
No.
I really feel like, as weird as it sounds, it's going to be Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I think with D-Bry's return, and again, that momentum he had going off of just his WrestleMania world title win back before he retired. I think putting him at the end.
I think that might be the opener.
And which also would make me happy. But I think it could make a good closer because we'll get to the prediction in that part.
It's a good middle match where, my excitement's still here kind of situation. I think people are kind of iffy on the Lesnar closing because what happened last time he was at WrestleMania and his contract came to a close. Him and Goldberg put on a barn burner of a fucking match. So people kind of have that imprint on their head of, oh no, he's leaving. And then you have Dana White tweeting now, oh, he's for sure making a comeback to the UFC. So people are like, oh, he's going to be another shitty Brock Lesnar match and he's going to run away with his tail tucked between his... He's not going to be that guy. He's not that guy anymore. He's not going to fucking burn this bridge with WWE again. He's above that. He has to be.
But if that all plays in, it's funny because Dana White's not the type of guy that would do something to quote play into a WWE storyline. So if Dana White's saying it, I tend to believe it.
Oh yeah.
So, but it does indeed play into the storyline, and WWE is just eating it up because the story they're telling is Brock's leaving. He doesn't give a fuck about WWE. He doesn't give a fuck about WWE fans. And Roman Reigns is our big hero, and he's going to slay the beast and take the title. So let's start right there. I do, like I said, think this will be the main event. I kind of think the Triple H, Stephanie, Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle will be a buffer match in between.
God, I hope.
In between that one and Shinsuke Nakamura. So I think Nakamura, AJ third from the top with the mixed tag in the middle, and then Lesnar Reigns closing out the show with a triumphant Roman Reigns as your Universal Champion. But here's the thing is I want to make emotional picks along the way here as we do these predictions too. And I'm not really sure how I feel because I like Lesnar as this unstoppable beast. That's a fun story. And I love him fucking suplexing Roman Reigns and everybody else around the place. But there is a narrative here, too, to what WWE, the story that they're telling that, he just comes in and suplexes people and leaves and he doesn't give a fuck. And so there's an element of that, too. And so I kind of think it would be fun if Roman got the win just to see what the reaction would be and how things go over the next few months if Roman's the champion and what does Lesnar do? Does Lesnar not re-sign with WWE right away? Or does he re-sign, in fact, but also go do UFC stuff at the same time? Certainly a possibility. He's done it before. So, I don't know. What are your thoughts on all of this? My official prediction is Roman Reigns. Okay. But I don't know. What do you think, Taco?
So, oh, God, fucking... Roman has definitely won me over. The whole setup has definitely won me over on the Roman camp. Like, I don't think him winning is going to be like, Roman Reigns won. I don't think we're going to see that this time around. I don't want to see him win, though. I love everybody panicking right now. I love that everyone's like, fucking Brock Lesnar is part-time fucking bullshit. It's like, oh, wow, you're late to the party. And he's just eating it up. Going into, I kind of want to bring this up a little bit, on a podcast about them doing the co-jointed the shows now are co-branded and everything. It kind of would be nice to see if they're going to do this. You don't need every fucking title and every fucking match on one card. You can slowly start scattering out title matches.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Okay, this month is Intercontinental, this month is United States. You can get some buffer between these matches now. You don't need Intercontinental, United States, World Champ, and both tag. You don't need both of those on one pay-per-view. So that's where this can kind of play into Brock Lesnar's schedule a little bit. If he does want to go dabble back into the UFC, he can shock the world and keep his championship belt. They tell everyone to fuck off. He's still the Universal Champion, and he can go enter the USADA testing pool and kind of clean up a little bit, do his suspension, quote, 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 and lose the title, go into the fight world.
Well, and that's interesting, too, because we've talked about this weird suspension deal with Brock Lesnar, and I know you were looking some stuff up earlier to try to clarify it. It sounds like basically he might only have to serve a month or two
basically, he has a year suspension.
Yep.
They retroactive it, so he already did 4 to 5 of the months of suspension. He's retired, so the suspension freezed, but the UFC and USADA has in their terms and the legal print, they can waive someone for 6 months. So basically he has 7 or 8 months left on suspension, so he only has to be in the testing pool for 1 or 2 months.
I don't know how.
Damn, he's good.
I don't know how any of that works, but let me find this. Let me find this soundbite here. I don't know if I can.
I'll throw in my opinion right now. Fuck Brock Lesnar. I am so over the Beast.
Oh,
and this
Doing the math. Doing the math. I don't know.
Go ahead, Joe.
But I'm done with the Beast. It doesn't do anything for me. The walk in, suplex somebody, leave. Paul Heyman's the best part of Brock Lesnar to me.
Sure.
His promos and everything. But Brock doesn't do anything for me in the ring except chuck people around, and that's fun.
That's all he needs to
for
do.
a while. It's boring. He doesn't do it for me anymore.
Let's go back for a moment to WrestleMania 31, Brock versus Roman Reigns again. That was actually a pretty darn good match, though. But again, we haven't seen something like that out of Brock Lesnar in quite some time. But what if, for whatever reason, Brock Lesnar wants to deliver in the main event of WrestleMania, God forbid. What if he brings it?
It would be nice.
And they put on a hell of a match. There's certainly a possibility, but that would play against the story that they're telling of Brock not giving a fucking.
But I'm also with Taco in the sense that like Roman has won me over a little bit. I'm not as high up as Taco on it, but like I wouldn't feel bad about him winning that Universal title. I get a full-time champion
I would
again.
be happy with that.
I get him on the mic, we get to see where he goes after WrestleMania. This could be that run that, changes the whole Roman Reigns factor, or he just stays a polarizing figure. Either way, Roman Reigns is going to stay at the top for a while here.
But it's just like I don't know, it's just when Lesnar does defend his championship belt, they're not bad matches. They're fucking electrifying matches. They're fucking like, oh my God, matches.
Not really.
That's the fucking point to his matches. Like, it's just ridiculous. Whether it's him against the fucking the Rollins match and Ambrose match at or was it
Brock and Ambrose
at fucking Royal Rumble a couple of years ago? That triple threat he had, it was an awesome match.
Right.
But
again, triple threat though too.
Triple threat, but he gets these in these matches, and they're quick fucking squash, not 30-second squash matches every time, but they're your typical.
I'm just sucking Brock Lesnar's dick.
But I like this because this is a really good example of fans that are coming at it from two different ways, and there's different opinions too. So it's
because you guys have been high up on Brock, and literally I've gone down every time for me.
But I look at it like Braun Strowman, though. That's his gimmick every fucking week. You want two guys coming out, ooh, me crush every week nonstop. It's like it's hard enough having Rusev on a different brand trying to do the same shit.
I want to go back to what you talked about with Paul Heyman being one of the most interesting parts of this act. Back on this Monday's Raw, he kind of what do you call it? He kind of words. He poked the bear, I guess. He talked some shit about Angle and what he's doing with Ronda Rousey. So him interjecting himself into that narrative a little bit as we transition to what I think might be the semi-main event here with Rousey and Kurt Angle taking on Triple H and Stephanie. What, if anything, is Paul Heyman's role in this? Because he did say something to allude to that. And I kind of like this idea of Paul Heyman being the manager to the former UFC stars. So Ronda Rousey and Brock Lesnar. And really, I think just based on what I've seen in the build-up for this, I think, and a lot of the experts are saying this too, that Ronda Rousey is really going to be better as a heel, especially since she doesn't have the experience of the other women. The natural story is going to be for like...
That's why everybody loved her in the UFC. It was when she was a heel. Yeah, she had... smiley face, great personality, but what stuck out was her fucking flipping Misha Tate off and yelling at her and getting in her face, and the over competitiveness, which you saw on fucking Raw, like when she got put through that table, like the look on her face was just all like she wanted to stand right back up and go at Stephanie McMahon, but
she wanted to no-sell it.
No, you got to sell this, like like it was like when Brock Lesnar returned and he was fucking throwing full-on punches at John Cena. You can see him kind of stop mid-punch, like, oh no, wrestling, not MMA. Like you saw that change in their mindset. Like, no.
And that would be the one argument against her being a heel, is that being a heel, you do have to sell, and you have to sell at the right time. So she can just be a badass, and that's something that Paul Heyman is good at being. He can be her babyface manager too, and she can just be the badass that stands behind him. And I think Paul Heyman, another good aspect, a good thing that he does is accentuates people's positives.
Wow.
So him being kind of, quote, in charge of Ronda Rousey, or being just him being around her or part of her promos or part of her whatever she's doing, he's going to be the guy saying, look, you don't want to do anything like this that's going to make you look bad. Let's do it this way, and we're going to accentuate the things that are good about you. So I think that would be a very smart thing, not only for Ronda, but for Paul himself, being that Brock isn't around very much, and allegedly Ronda's going to be around quite a bit. So that being said, what do we do here?
I'm going Brock Lesnar.
Oh, shit. I completely forgot about your guys' predictions. All right, so we'll let's rewind. Taco's going Brock. Back to the main event. I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Someone got to keep this train on track.
Joe, what's your prediction for
It's going to be Roman Reigns.
Okay. So you're going.
I'm thinking Brock's gonna hold it for a couple more months after that, maybe a big SummerSlam loss, and then transition to UFC.
Fun. All right. So what I think will be the semi-main, who knows where it will actually be, the mixed match challenge, Triple H, Stephanie, Angle, and Ronda Rousey. I think Ronda Rousey has to win in this situation, but that's not necessarily true either. She can come off looking like a badass, but you can always have it's the Authority. They're heels. You can have plenty in this thing, so there's certainly potential there, but I think Ronda does get the win here. Joe, what's your prediction?
I'm with you on that one, unfortunately. Like I said, I really don't have a lot invested into this match.
And I think there's a big part of the fan base that is with you, so elaborate.
I just don't want it to be her first match. I don't want her first match to be with Stephanie McMahon. And
what's a better first match, though?
Anybody else.
Dana Brooke.
I would take it. I would fucking take it, because at least she has she's a wrestler. She's doing it. She's, she's not the best, but she's not Stephanie McMahon. I get that Stephanie McMahon's been around, it all the time. She trains with her husband. I absolutely get that, but I'm sorry, that throw into the table, let's talk about that. It was garbage.
Yeah.
That table was obviously got a cover on it and was broken already.
You're talking about Stephanie's or Ronda's?
Stephanie's.
Oh.
Stephanie's was garbage. I'm not saying that Ronda's was that much better just because it was the same type of setup.
It doesn't take much to break those tables.
No.
But still, just
half the time they break when you set them up.
Again, the positive that I am taking out of this is I get to see Triple H and Kurt Angle in a ring again. I get to see those two go at it again, and I will take that. But
let's talk about, because I think there is a big part of the fan base that is with you that wants to see the singles match. Why didn't they do Asuka and Ronda Rousey
well, that's
right away?
That's just a terrible idea.
Why not do her and Charlotte?
I'll take anybody.
Why not do Charlotte?
I understand saving the big money matches.
Why not do Charlotte and Ronda Rousey right away? And certainly a Dana Brooke or whatever. But I like this because of the star power, and again, being with the biggest heel in the company, Stephanie McMahon, puts her in a good light in a situation where if fans are unfamiliar with her, they're going to be like, "Oh, it's another fucking celebrity match bullshit. What is this? It's Money Mayweather all over again." I think there's a big part of the fan base that might feel that way, but I think Taco, maybe you chime in here because I know you're more familiar with the MMA side of things, and me being really I know who she is, obviously, but I'm not big into MMA or whatever. Everybody knows who she is. I shouldn't say that. But for me, it's like I want to see her succeed because I know she's a big star. I know she's going to bring new eyeballs.
She would have rather been in wrestling her whole life instead of her mom busting in her room at 3:00 in the morning, slapping arm bars on her. that's the house she grew up in. Was just constant fight, constant tap, constant submission, like constant training, like almost like Bruce Lee in a sense, where every movement, every time, never be safe. You can be struck at any time. Like her mom was crazy with that kind of shit. Yeah, that's why she's so fucking good at that arm bar. She knows that inside and out.
Okay.
And that's kind of what I was like wrapping up. I'm glad they're starting with this match because of that first interaction they had at WrestleMania a couple of years back. She never slapped that arm bar on Stephanie McMahon. That's the money-making
That's
shot
what we need
right
to
there.
see.
That's
Yep.
the photo. It's get that gimmicky shit out of the way and then let her start building up. By the time she's more comfortable in the ring and, able to do more shit, we're going to have like a Shayna Baszler in this picture too, and they're going to be able to go at it.
Sonya Deville too.
Sonya Deville. So it's like,
even though she wasn't as famous in the MMA world, she still has.
She had a cup of coffee.
Right.
In the MMA world.
But she has that background.
Yes.
And she's been looking really good as a professional wrestler, being as how new she is to the business. So she's in there hanging on the main roster. Had a great match on Monday.
And Ronda Rousey's at that Performance Center nonstop training. So we know that thing only produces gold if you listen to it.
What was the other point I was going to make? Okay, well, the singles match deal. Because I think this is important, too, with the bringing in new eyeballs factor, bringing in the curious MMA crowd. What is this shit? She's in a mixed tag match with an old Olympic wrestler and the two executives. What the fuck is this pro wrestling bullshit? See,
it's funny that, non-athletic people out there, when you talk normal people, when you talk to them about sports, they'll be like, "Oh, this football, baseball, hockey, blah blah blah," and you're like, "Oh, hey, pro wrestling, oh, that shit's fake. Why don't you watch like the UFC?" And then when you talk to these people that actually do jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts and boxing or play hockey or football or any, they love pro wrestling. Like, they love this shit, So, so it's just like,
well, and in pro wrestling, when they have photo ops and things of that nature, they don't tend to erupt into brawls and fights like they do in boxing or MMA. It's usually a very civilized kind of event.
So when they're trying to bring in those MMA fans' eyes into the pro wrestling world, they're not going to do that. They're trying to get those soccer mom kind of eyes that are like, "Oh, I know Ronda Rousey. She's really tough. She's a mean, conquer your inner bitch kind of." Oh, what the fuck is this? It's still wrestling. Click.
So, what are your predictions officially?
Rousey in that armbar in, wrapping up that.
It's got to be that.
That's
And
the story.
She's got to have that solidified win to get her going.
AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship, the dream match, the rematch from Wrestle Kingdom 10 a few years ago.
Which is free on New Japan World right now.
Correct. It's the New Japan free match of the week, njpwworld.com, also on their YouTube page. So if you have not seen this match before and you want to check it out, there it is for free. Good match for the
Just do it, man.
for the Intercontinental Championship in New Japan. This time for the bigger stakes, the WWE Championship. This is more interesting here, not quite as predictable, I don't think.
No.
And they haven't, not a lot of story going into it, but I like what they did on SmackDown this week, playing into AJ is emotional, and if Nakamura can get him upset during the match, he will make a mistake and succumb to the knee to the face. But both of them hitting each other with their finishers the last couple of weeks on TV and various tag matches.
I like AJ's better because he pats him on the head.
Well, Nakamura did that before, or did that in the past too. They pointed that out in the video package where AJ's like, pat me on the head like a dog, man. What do you think, I'm a dog? I'm going to bite back. So that was a little bit of the story there. But either way, this should be a really good match. I think both of these guys are going to really want to deliver on the big stage, especially AJ here. But even Nakamura, who, he hasn't really been up to par as performance-wise. He has not really had a big standout match in WWE for a long time. So I would hope that he would want to really perform in this spot.
It's not a bad spot to pull out that once-in-a-lifetime match.
Yeah. So interesting here with AJ having the championship. Does Nakamura defeat AJ, win the title here? Remember back at Wrestle King? Well, I'm not going to spoil that match in case people haven't seen it yet. But can Nakamura get it done here, or does AJ Styles finally defeat Nakamura and retain the championship? What do you guys think of this one?
Predictions.
It's really tough to pick, but I want to see Nakamura win just to build on that story more. Because again, we have, besides the fact that we've had the build up from the Rumble to this, they haven't been having matches besides like tagging with each other.
Yeah, tagging with each other. Yeah.
If Nakamura wins, you've got how many more months of another story. But yeah, I my pick's Nakamura. Like I see him taking that title and building on that after WrestleMania.
Maybe AJ goes to Raw after that. It's been the house that AJ Styles built on SmackDown for a couple of years now, but if Nakamura wins, AJ's a little bit more open to possibly moving away. What do you think, Taco?
Yeah, but a nice big red belt on Nakamura is so suiting, isn't it? Oh, man. So where do you start, especially knowing the history of their first match? I feel like if Nakamura loses this one, it's like, where does he go with this? And, kind of going on Raw would kind of be fun a little bit, shake it up over there. I'm sticking to AJ.
I'm going to pick Nakamura here because I think if he wins, we'll get the rematch probably at Fastlane.
Joe's on the ball with that.
But then I kind of like the idea of AJ going back to Raw. He's been on SmackDown for a couple of years now. You got Daniel Bryan coming back to SmackDown now. So
I don't know if they move AJ off of SmackDown, though.
Yeah, that's the tough thing. And I'd like to see a Daniel Bryan AJ match at some point, too. So
they don't really have that Undertaker on SmackDown anymore, or Edge, or that Eddie Guerrero, or those guys that were proud to be SmackDown superstars.
Right.
And
and I think
AJ has said in the past, he's like, I'm SmackDown all the way. That's the house that AJ Styles built.
Especially if it's going to be the Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns show over on Raw. I wouldn't mind AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Daniel Bryan over there on SmackDown doing their thing. So I could see not a lot happening with those four big names, although we'll get to what's happening, what could happen with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and we talk about that match because they certainly could end up on Raw if they lose the match.
Like everybody on SmackDown with Nakamura, he's kind of run his course with already in a year. Ziggler done it. Balor Corbin, he's done it already. He's already feuded with Jinder. We've already seen him in a feud with Rude. We've already seen him in most of the feuds.
Did we get a Randy Orton match? the fact that
they teamed together for a while, which I enjoyed, actually. I want to tag team out of the two. They might have had a match or two with each other.
Well, the fact that I don't remember
he pinned no, it was a number one contenders match, and Nakamura pinned him clean.
Right.
So, and it was a good fucking match, too, or a decent match, I'll say. But so it's
time for a shake up either way.
Someone to Raw, Nakamura is the one that makes sense because you're going to get the Roman Reigns, the Seth Rollins, the Finn Balor, the Miz matches over there.
But I think there's a good chance that Rollins, Balor, and or the Miz, whoever doesn't end up with the IC title, a chance that they could go over to SmackDown. I mean, think of those with AJ and Finn. If Nakamura stays over there, again, Daniel Bryan coming back. If he stays there on SmackDown, him and Finn Balor would be a fucking amazing deal. So lots of potential stuff here post WrestleMania.
I think they'll keep Reigns and Bryan away from each other for a while.
If they're smart, yes. If they're smart, yes. So I think either way, I think Bryan is going to stay on SmackDown. I think that's going to be the Daniel Bryan / perhaps AJ show. But yeah, I like Nakamura winning it. So let's move right along. Charlotte versus Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I did not get a chance to see the mixed match challenge. I did hear that Asuka and Miz won, keeping the Asuka streak alive. Did either of you get a chance to see it?
Nope.
Oh, great. So sorry I brought it up. So but the Asuka streak stayed alive. We don't know if Asuka pinned Charlotte or not because we're a horrible podcast.
I did like, though, on SmackDown, though, after Charlotte and Asuka had their face-off in the middle of the ring, it was, fucking, what's his face?
Clinton Dix.
One of the guys was going, this is going to be the last time you see the face-to-face until WrestleMania. The Corey Graves is like, Byron, you idiot! They're facing each other in mixed match challenge in like an hour.
That's funny.
Absolutely right.
Oh, that is too good.
I know that I saw a GIF of Charlotte locking the figure 8 on Miz.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. Well, sorry we didn't watch Mixed Match Challenge yet. I heard it was good. I just didn't see what the
The whole thing has been fun. I kind of hope they do something like that again because you can just tell all the superstars are having such a fucking fun time with it. And
sure.
All this
little more
goofy
personality.
the goofy shit you see on Raw, it's kind of like you could incorporate this onto Raw and SmackDown on a weekly basis and it would have been just as effective because, oh no, Miz and Asuka are teaming together. Oh no, they're still themselves.
Well, and that's kind of been the standout too, is the unscripted promos. I mean, just Asuka speaking Japanese and Miz, let me translate. It was just great to see Asuka speak fucking Japanese instead of trying to, do some fake promo that WWE wrote for her.
Well,
So
even
that was
I
refreshing.
felt like her last promo, though, was a little bit better on SmackDown. Like, her English actually just sounded a little bit clearer just in that week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what's the prediction? I'm saying Asuka wins here, keeps the streak going, moves to SmackDown. Obviously, with winning the SmackDown Women's Championship, will probably get the rematch either on SmackDown or at Fastlane. And in an even trade fashion, Charlotte moves over to Monday Night Raw. I think that'd be a good move. And Asuka just reigns over there on SmackDown for a year. But we do have the Carmella thing. They've been teasing that the last couple of weeks. It's been a bit obnoxious with the teasing, with her basically coming down with an extra ref, handing the case over, but that's not enough. That's not an official cash-in.
Nope.
Well, I can't.
I liked this week, though, that Charlotte actually kicked it out of the
That
ref's
was
hand,
nice.
out of the ring. Like, fuck no, get out.
That was kind of cool. But yeah, the first one, it was like, he hands it to the ref. The ref goes to ringside. He's about to tell the timekeeper. Well, but he doesn't have enough time to tell the timekeeper. It's ridiculous. So, but they've been teasing.
They've always done that shit.
They've been teasing the Carmella cash-in. I've seen a lot of speculation online that what if Carmella comes down after a long Charlotte and Asuka match, after Asuka finally defeats Charlotte, wins the SmackDown Women's Championship, she's drained of energy, she's out of it, Carmella comes down, wins the title so cheaply, oh my god, it's so much heat for Carmella, and the streak is over, the streak is gone, but it's a non-credible win because she had a grueling match, and it's heat for Carmella. I hate it. I think the money is in Ronda Rousey and Asuka going undefeated and meeting in a year at WrestleMania, or maybe even longer. I think that's where the money is at. And once Asuka is no longer undefeated, what do you have? Yeah, she's a badass, but I mean, I feel like WWE is going to WWE things, and it's just not going to be as good. But what are your thoughts on predictions and possible ugly cash-ins from Carmella?
It's so tough because, like, I still could see Charlotte winning and beating the streak just this year.
That's
you
a
know?
possibility.
Like, it's a possibility.
It could happen
But
Sunday.
I'm with you. I think Asuka's streak continues. I personally think that somehow Carmella's going to cash in on the Raw Women's Champion. I think that's what happens. We don't see her cash in on somebody on SmackDown. I see. I mean, how much does she have a time limit? When was that Money in the Bank issued?
I think typically it's supposed to be. They've said in the past it lasts a year from when you get it.
She is officially, congrats Mella on being the longest holding Money in the Bank briefcase holder.
Okay,
Yeah,
she has the
beat
record
Edge.
for that now.
Well, but now the question is, when is the next Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and is
Like
that
May?
is that before the year? Well, May is Backlash.
Yep.
So it's
End of May?
It could be. Well, they're only doing. I think they're only doing like one a month now. So
June?
it could be June or July.
Or July, August.
I think they've done it. August is SummerSlam.
I guess I just didn't
Badger.
know how long
Badger.
it
It's
was.
got to be Badger.
Badger?
Badger.
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 Badger?
Typically, they've been doing Money in the Bank the month before SummerSlam, I believe, the last couple of years. So there's a possibility there. But I like the idea of cashing in on the Raw champion, especially with the co-branded pay-per-views thing going on.
Yeah.
I'm with that, where it's just like there's that such a heated factor right now where Nia is just gonna fucking lose control and beat the shit out of Alexa Bliss, where either A, she's gonna get disqualified, Mella cashes in, or B, fucking she comes out, knocks Nia Jax out, and takes that pinfall.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, well, what's did you guys?
I picked Asuka.
I really kind of want Charlotte to win this. Or just fucking end the streak thing and just have a badass superstar in our hands.
That's a good story too.
Just fucking end it now, so we don't have to be like the streak. Because as much as I love it, I kind of got that. The Mix Match Challenge was the only time I was sick of hearing about the streak the whole time. I just don't know if it was just how the commentators are bringing it up on there or what, but it was just very annoying on there. But keep it going, keep her strong, Asuka.
All right. The Miz defending the Intercontinental Championship versus Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Seth Rollins and Finn Balor have been having some pretty good fucking matches on Raw building up to this thing. It's been a lot of fun. Miz being the new dad. Fucking, I'm a changed man. We're going to go in and have this amazing match and blah, 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 blah.
Could you say your kid's name anymore, Miz?
That was a lot of fun with Miz on commentary.
The match, him on commentary, all together. This story they're doing with the IC title is actually really good this year.
And really, to me, it's really tough to pick a winner here. I mean, Miz is on this storied run, riddled with bullshit and skullduggery, of course.
Sidebar, June 17, Money in the Bank.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tiger.
Got thrown right off the tracks.
Fuck you, Taco.
Now back to our regularly scheduled program.
But the Miz with the skullduggery, with the long reign. Although it's weird because he lost it there for a cup of coffee to Roman Reigns, but they keep saying he's on his way to the longest IC title reign ever. I'm assuming that's just...
No, it's like...
Combined,
yeah.
Right, but still, it's like... excuse me, Roman Reigns won that thing for like a cup of tea, so there's that. And then Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. The Seth Rollins, the long match from a month or so ago on Raw. Finn Balor never getting that Universal title rematch. So both of these guys just craving championships or whatever, just craving that main event or craving a big spot. I think both of them would look good with the IC title if they were able to have a nice long reign with it, perhaps. But again, the possibility of Rollins and or Finn moving to SmackDown, I think, is a big deal too. I'm gonna pick Miz to retain here. I don't really. Emotionally, who do I want? I think I want Rollins or Finn, but I can't really pick between the two, right? So I'm just gonna stick with the Miz on this one. Who do you guys got?
I just picture Rollins coming out in his all-white suit with that all-white Intercontinental title belt, and it just looks so good that I want my emotional pick would be Rollins just for that reason. I think it would be an awesome image.
Yeah.
But I also agree with you. I think Miz is going to take this one. He's going to get, they're just going to get him past that record with this, but also it's going to solidify him. Like, I mean, the guy is just been amazing in the last year and a half with promos. He may not have had standout matches, but you remember talking about The Miz all fucking year long.
It is interesting because he talks and talks and talks, and he's great at talking, but then he gets in the ring and it's like, oh, there's those
there's The Miz.
There's those shitty kicks and that thing he does in the corner.
See, that doesn't bug me too much. His ring work, it's just it works for him.
Yeah,
but
go ahead.
Plus, I want him to win for fantasy points.
Predictions.
Hey, Taco. Predictions.
Wait, where are we? I'm going Rollins with this one. He's been on such a fucking hot streak lately, and it'd just be a good, a feel-good win for him again at WrestleMania.
What else?
I mean, yeah, he won against Triple H last year. Ooh. But
why not have both the guys in the Shield have titles when Ambrose comes back?
There you go. The U.S. title match, Randy Orton versus Bob Roode, Jinder Mahal, and the Rusev added to the match after a couple of weeks ago. I think all of our emotional pick is got to be Clinton Dix, right?
Jinder Mahal cruiserweight.
Our emotional pick is Rusev, right? Here,
yes, absolutely.
I need patriotic Rusev babyface. I've been clamoring.
You have been.
I've needed this since the second edition of Southpaw Regional Wrestling. I need it in my life. I need Rusev in overalls. Fucking SmackDown was from Nashville, his hometown this week. I wanted him to come out on SmackDown this week and be like, I'm from Nashville, it's my hometown. Just be excited to have this U.S. title opportunity. I'm moving to the USA. This is where I'm going to live, right here in Nashville, USA.
America.
Yes, I need patriotic U.S. champ Rusev.
America, you hack my heart.
I want that so hard. Randy Orton has the championship now. Bobby Roode's entrance at WrestleMania, that's going to be
amazing.
It's going to be glorious. Yeah,
fucking Shinsuke's better be fucking amazing.
right. But yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Bobby Roode, he's just an entrance anyway, so that's going to be fun. But yeah, Jinder. I mean, we did the Jinder thing last year. Jinder winning the U.S. title just feels gross. Because they're just going to be, it's going to be the same thing again that what he did last year, but now he's got the U.S. title. He's going to be the anti-U.S. guy with the U.S. title and blah, blah, blah. So that'd feel like a rerun. I need Rusev. That's my prediction. What do you guys go with?
Rusev.
I want Rusev.
Rusev needs this win. He's got the momentum. And how much does Rusev Day sound like USA?
Exactly.
I'm just saying. I'm with you. I'm with you on page
USA. Oh. Okay, moving right along, Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax for the Raw Women's Championship. Talked about this one a little bit kind of when we were talking predictions for the other one. I really like your idea of Carmella cashing in. Maybe not necessarily here, but this would be a good spot. I loved your idea where Nia just beats the shit out of her until she gets disqualified. So Nia loses, Bliss retains, and here comes Carmella. Faboulous. I think I spelled that wrong too just now.
No, you spelled it right.
Did I get it right?
Faboulous. Yeah, we got there.
So
BWCHKABRWNCOW. Yes.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
So yeah, I love that idea because it would give us the payoff of Nia getting some
ABCDFGH. Oh, sorry.
The payoff of Nia getting some revenge, just beating the shit out of Alexa Bliss, and
I'm willing to watch that.
That'd be fun. So I'm stealing your prediction. That's what I'm going. That's what I want. Either way, I think Bliss loses the title to either Nia or Carmella, just because I love your prediction and I totally stole it. So I'm
nice. Sick move.
So what do you got?
Oh man, put me in a position there. Oof. No, I'm leaning on Mella or Bliss.
Bliss retaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm Mella or Nia Jax takes that title from her. But I don't see Nia Jax with that title yet. Like, down the road with some work, I could see that, but I just don't see it now.
How long we've been saying that?
This would be a good spot for it, I think. And the crowd's behind her now, which is good. But yeah, the in-ring scares me. It's still, But at least she's in. The character, what she's doing on TV now, feels more like her personality, feels more real. She didn't really... doing the monster thing, it was okay, but as the heel, it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel in character with who her real personality is. So this I like a little bit better than that. So Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn teaming up. Sammy Wow versus Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. If Zayn and Kevin Owens win, they get their jobs back. If they lose, they're fired. They're never going to be on SmackDown Live again. Who knows? Maybe they'll show up on Raw then. It's weird because the fired stipulation, nobody ever believes it anymore. It never comes to fruition.
Now when there's multiple shows,
it never happens. It's just they
at
always
least back in the day they'd go away for like a year.
Yeah, they always yeah, that's the thing. Without territories, without guys actually leaving, without contracts running out, and maybe they do it with Daniel Bryan later this year. Keep your fingers crossed, New Japan fans. Yeah, nobody believes that they're going to be fired, even if they lose. So, but I did like them. I did like El Generico coming back on Twitter. Kevin Owens going back to Kevin Steen on Twitter. I almost wished for them to actually, at least Steen to go with Steen on Raw and SmackDown, being that everybody else is getting let in with their indie names now, or their real names, God forbid. So,
boy.
So I kind of wish that we could do that. But
Kevin Owens is for his son too.
Right, and big Owen Hart fan. That's where it comes from as well, which is why he named his son Owen. So obviously there is that part of it as well. But yeah, what do we do here? I believe this is just going to be the big Daniel Bryan comeback match. Beats the shit out of both of those guys and probably gets the win. Although with the stipulation thing in there, I mean, we're going to get the big feel-good moment from Daniel Bryan, but maybe Shane takes the pin here. That's kind of what he's good for these days.
Yeah.
But what is Shane's involvement even like, being that, yes, this is a tag match, but he's got the whole diverticulitis situation going on. Yeah, he said he was cleared on SmackDown. They hugged it out. Everything's peachy.
That's good.
Hug it out.
They patched up all their past differences on SmackDown between Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan, but certainly just because they patch things up on SmackDown he's
a McMahon.
Doesn't mean things can't go awry at WrestleMania.
Ooh, A-Ride's coming back?
If someone turns, I feel it's Shane.
It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to
in
be.
this situation.
There's no way, even if they do turn Bryan, it's not going to work. It's just, it won't work.
It's like when they try to turn Eddie Guerrero back heel, and people are like, nope, cheering anyways.
Exactly. They're just gonna cheer for him and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens beating up Shane McMahon some more. So yeah, it's not going to work. A Shane turn would kind of work, but I mean, again, I'm kind of over Shane McMahon at this point. Him coming on the TV and doing the bad acting and forgetting his lines,
at the same time,
sweating a lot.
Would Kevin Owens, Sammy Wow and Daniel Bryan beating the shit out of Shane McMahon really be a heel move?
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So there's that. There's a problem there.
That's what I was telling you before.
Nonetheless.
So what's your official predictions, guys, on this? Predictions.
I'm with you. I'm just going to go D-Bry and Shane take this match, and Owens and Zayn run off to Raw.
Taco.
I'm going Sammy Wow KO.
Right on.
This makes more sense.
Then we come back with singles matches for Daniel Bryan against the two of them if you're Canadian. Against. Okay, then
Very bituminous of you.
Finally, do we get The Undertaker versus John Cena? Undertaker never responded to John Cena. Nothing happened. John says he's going as a fan. He's going to be sitting in the crowd somewhere, possibly moving around the stadium.
That's what's happening. You know it.
And honestly, I'd actually be kind of fine with that. Like,
check in while he's eating a hot dog.
Undertaker never shows up. It's just John Cena hanging out in the crowd. We don't have a John Cena match.
No, I kind of hope it's like when you watch like a UFC fight and then they pan the crowd and they're like, "Oh, we have Chuck Liddell, Hall of Famer, in the audience. And you can see he's just kind of angry that he's not fighting. Oh, yep. And then, there's a Gracie, too. And then there'll be The Undertaker, like, hey, I'm here. And then some guys will be in the background. I kind of hope they just do that with those two. Like, there's John Cena not wrestling this year. And him just like, yep. Oh, what's this on the other side of the stage? Oh, there's, The Undertaker. He retired last year at WrestleMania. Just, I'm like, oh, shit, the camera's on me. Fuck.
All right, well, let's speculate. Let's say the match does happen. How do they get into this? Does Undertaker attack him in the crowd? Does John Cena go to the ring again, and then the Undertaker appears from out under the ramp or something? Or maybe elevates through the ring? Who knows? Does he show up as the badass?
Yes.
What the hell happens here?
Giant motorcycle.
Huge fucking
chariot,
motorcycle.
a fucking chariot of horses on fire. Like the fucking
flames out the back. Kid Rock performing the entrance.
Of course.
Naked.
Yeah. Kid Rock will be there performing the naked entrance.
Dick swinging. American badass. Boom, boom, donging.
Oh, man, hey, dude, that's gross.
Well,
Yep.
well,
but
I went overboard.
That is so profane.
Taco.
So
I really,
bituminous.
honestly, at this point, I hope we get a match. I want to see it. Why not?
You have to. Why would they do all this fucking work?
Well, yeah. Why do all this hype and not
do like-
Because it's WWE.
Someone else
they
there
love
pointed,
letting
they're
us
like-
down.
They're like, hey, John Cena, what if you're wasting all your time and Undertaker only watches SmackDown?
So, prediction, if the match does happen, who gets the win? Only 2 people have defeated The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
And only
facing
2
each other
will.
at WrestleMania. Yeah, it would be a good kind of come out, American Badass, do his thing, go home.
It's not going to hurt Cena. He's a 16-time champ. He's fine.
Right, yep. Undertaker wins.
Let him get. And that's the thing is, he lost in his last match, correct?
He lost to Reigns.
Yeah, that was the Reigns match. I didn't remember what came first, that or that fucking Bray Wyatt match. But nonetheless, I want to see him walk out with a win. And that's why bringing back the badass would make me feel good about that. Again, the dead man is dead. Let's leave that alone. Have some fun. Let him be the badass.
I don't know, just because they haven't done anything with him makes me think regular dead man Undertaker is coming out to do it, just because if he appeared on Raw last week or this week like I wanted him to and alluded to something to that nature, then I think we would have seen the badass possibly. But since they didn't do that, I feel like we're gonna see standard.
Just pay attention to the stairs by the ring. If they're all of a sudden all off to the side, that means Undertaker is driving his fucking motorcycle out. That's how I knew he was coming back one time. Regal in the fucking ring having a tea party. But I noticed, why the fuck are all the stairs off to the side? Fucking Undertaker comes out, power bombs him.
That's good stuff.
Well,
Right?
you know, you're exactly
That's
right.
what I need.
That is tremendous analysis.
I feel like the biggest pop you're going to get for the American Badass side of The Undertaker is a surprise WrestleMania appearance. Not
All right.
if we do the dead man, though, I kind of want him to go old school and get the fucking purple back.
Yeah.
The druids and everything.
Oh.
Get a big fat guy.
Go out with one last fucking bang.
All right. Let's change this up. Let's do our predictions preview for NXT Takeover.
Hey, wait a minute. We didn't actually
Tag
do
matches.
The tag matches. Both
How
tag.
did I miss that?
We got
Champion.
like fucking 5 hours to go, Tommy.
How did I miss the tag matches?
You got the Usos.
Fuck me.
New Day.
Usos
No.
and New Day and Bludgeon Brothers.
Right?
How did I forget? How did I not have these on my
Fucking
notes?
amateur
Jesus
hour.
Christ! It is amateur
Fucking
hour. over here.
Melvin.
Go back in time. Okay, Usos, Bludgeon Brothers, and the New Day. They've been pushing this Bludgeon Brothers thing, but the Usos have been knocking it out of the park. New Day are New Day. They need to go back to Raw just for a change of scenery, I guess. So I don't think the New Day are winning it, but this Bludgeon Brothers push makes me feel like it's going that way.
Predictions.
I'm going Usos. Usos going to get their big WrestleMania moment finally, and then the Bludgeon Brothers can get at the next Backlash pay-per-view, no problem, and look really strong.
Yeah, I like that story better. That'd be my emotional pick there. Joe's over there burping. What do you say, Joe?
I'm with Taco on this one. I want the Usos to get their moment. It's not going to hurt the Bludgeon Brothers. And here's the thing: it's going to be the Usos, the Bludgeon Brothers, and the New Day. None of us lose.
Right,
None of them lose because all of them will gain momentum out of this match because I think we're going to get one fucking hell of a match.
Yeah, that'll be a really good match, I think, actually. And then the Raw side, the Bar defending against Braun and the mystery partner. We talked about this on the road to WrestleMania as I throw a burp into the microphone. Excuse me.
Burp.
So yeah, who's the mystery partner? Is it Elias? Is it Clinton Dix? Is it James Ellsworth, who's going to be in town WrestleMania weekend, as we were talking about earlier? What do you guys think?
I had an idea. I know he's probably way farther off, and I think he just suffered a setback. But what if, just like when Raw was canceled, Dean Ambrose just walks up saying, I saw that Braun needed a partner, so I just showed up and I was bored. Just walks in and again, adding to all of my other predictions, every Shield team member wins a title that night.
Okay.
But no, that's not going to happen. I have no fucking clue, honestly. I have no idea. I want it to be Elias, but I think they want to push him by himself. They don't want him in a tag team.
Right.
Whereas Braun Strowman, he works in a tag team because he's the big guy. So it's going to be Tatanka.
I hope it's not Elias. Like I'm all aboard on the Elias train, but normally the Divas matches are the piss breaks, and that's not Asuka and Charlotte for sure. And I want to give Nia and Alexa the benefit of the doubt. So.
I plan on just keeping a jug by my couch.
You're hanging out with Joey Ryan.
So, this would be kind of a good intermission spot. Have him come out, do some fucking songs, make fun of New Orleans a little bit, get that heat. He doesn't necessarily need a match.
Well, he'll be in the Battle Royal if he's not yet.
Exactly. Others pre-show that shit. I like the mystery. I like the Ambrose idea. A good Samoa Joe return would be fucking awesome there.
Braun Strowman.
I was about to say, what do you guys think of Braun Strowman?
It was silly. But it's what they do with Braun. They
Corey Graves.
do silliness.
Fucking
is the best.
Absolutely
Oh
fucking
my
made
God,
it.
it's Braun Strowman!
Yeah, that was really good too. But I like the Ellsworth story the most that I talked about a couple weeks back, and
You're
then
hating on it.
But I like it as a story because it just plays into that first squash match way back.
The Ellsworth thing would be so fun, and the crowd would pop so
but
fucking
it
hard
just
for
sucks
it.
for everybody else on the Raw. Why does this fuck get a WrestleMania moment?
Why does he get a bigger pop than you?
Exactly. There you go. So there's that too. So I think that would be the most fun story, and then he causes the loss at the end, so he never gets to win the titles or whatever.
It keeps it able to be a short-lived match too.
Right, and then the Bar keep the titles because they should have the titles. You don't need to. Braun Strowman beating all the tag teams in the goddamn Battle Royal ran down the value of all the tag teams enough already. We don't need him running down the goddamn tag team champions. So I'd like the Bar to look strong and definitely keep the titles no matter who Braun's partner is. I believe it will be Braun's partner that causes the loss in all of this. So Braun stays looking strong and over, of course, and the Bar keep the titles because I think that's what we need the tag team champions, the tag team championships to be on the tag team champions. Are there any other matches that I forgot? I can't believe I didn't write down the damn tag team matches. This is unreal.
How dare you?
I know, I'm awful. All right, now let's do NXT, shall we?
Oh, wait. No.
Change the subject, fucker. Hoofda.
Yep. What a week.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy, awesome week. This show is going to be really good. we were talking before the show. NXT likes to keep their big shows, these takeovers, to 2.5 hours or so. We've only got 5 matches announced for this thing, so I think they might add 1 or 2 others to the thing, but I think 5 matches in this 2.5 hour period or whatever is going to make for a hell of a good show.
Right, especially since you're going to use like a lot of the female talent the next night, or assuming the guys.
Right. So, where to start here? How about the tag match? Since I forgot I'm on the last one, it's going to be Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, since Bobby Fish is injured, defending the tag titles versus Authors of Pain and Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong. The Undisputed Era interrupted the finals for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic on this week's NXT TV.
This was the first time I've heard actually Freebird being shouted properly at someone.
So the winner of this match not only becomes or remains the tag team champions, but they also win the Dusty Cup, or the Dusty Trophy, which is really cool, I think, because Undisputed Era in true heel fashion could win the cup without even being in the goddamn tournament. So that is wonderful heat there. But then you also have the Adam Cole story in this thing. He's supposed to be in the 6-man ladder match for the brand new North American Championship. And Regal, I don't know how to feel about this. I wanted Regal to take Adam Cole out of the ladder match.
Yeah.
Repercussions for ruining the finals of the Dusty Cup. You're not only do you get taken out of that match, but now you have to defend the tag titles, which you're not even a tag champion, but you have to defend them there because you don't deserve to be in that champion because you ruined the Dusty finals and this and that. So I wanted Regal to take him out.
He gets 2 title opportunities in one night.
So now he has potential to have not only the tag titles but the goddamn North American Championship. How's that going to feel, Regal? But Regal gave him the choice. He said, "Well, you can just team with Bobby or just team with Kyle O'Reilly. You could just be in the ladder match, or you could be in both. It's up to you." So it is what it is. I don't think Cole will win the ladder match, but we'll get to that later. But what do you guys think for this tag match?
Ooh, really fucking really fucking tough. Like, you go, Taco.
I really don't like the fact that Dunn and Strong are in it. Just they're throwing together. I want to see the UK title fucking defended on NXT TV. Like, it's always such a great match, and it's always, no matter who it's against, it's always a show worthwhile. He is defending at like the NXT Access thing that's going on, and like Leo Rush is involved, and a lot of those NXT
a bunch of guys are
so
on Access.
Like, fucking give me this.
You're gonna have Walter and Keith Lee on Access shows, which is fucking crazy.
Like, pump this shit, and then the winner of that gets to go to TakeOver for the opener of the UK title.
I would have
do that.
I would have even been okay with AOP getting the win, and then Dunn and Roderick Strong kind of banging heads during the match, and then those two going at it again at TakeOver for the NXT or for the UK title. But we did just see those two have that match too, so. I don't see those two becoming NXT Tag Team Champions, though. Are the Authors of Pain moving up to the main roster soon, and do you put the titles on
last year?
And with the Bobby Fish injury, do you take the titles off of Undisputed Era, or just leave them on Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole at this point, since I don't think Adam Cole's going to win the North American Championship?
That's what you would do if they kept it. You got to keep the Freebird rule alive. Sandy, New Day does it,
right.
So I'm not mad that it's kind of more free to do now.
Yeah, I'm
kind of add some fun in case something like this does happen. God, I'm leaning on AOP winning this though.
I'm going the full hot heat route. I'm picking Undisputed Era to win the tag titles and the Dusty Cup and just pile on that heat. They weren't even in the goddamn tournament,
right.
So that could be Authors of Pain's big gripe to get a rematch down the line with them. So I think that would be a good way to go. Joe, what's your prediction?
I love watching people get disappointed, so I'm going your route, Undisputed Era. They weren't even in the fucking tournament, but they're the Dusty Classic champs.
The North American Championship, the brand new championship, just introduced. They did Triple H put out a video on Twitter.
Triple H.
Great looking belt.
I took a closer look at it. That's classy.
Yeah, old school looking, just picture of the continent in the middle. It has that old school look to it.
Brownish red strap.
Yeah. Some people, I think a friend of the show, 3-Pack, was saying it kind of reminded him a little bit of the IWGP US title. Although there's differences there.
I don't see that.
It's a red strap, and it's a bigger looking belt, I suppose. But
I think the New Japan one just has the better detail,
and it's got the red, white, and blue in there, and too. So
I think of like classy Freddie Blassie when I see this new strap. Like black
Bruno Sammartino
photos.
Yeah, cool. So what's the prediction on this one? We get a ladder match: EC3, Velveteen Dream, Lars Sullivan, Adam Cole, Killian Dane, and Ricochet making his NXT debut. Ooh. I mean, fuck, man. We've been
Who wants to start this?
Well, first of all, how about that video package from NXT with fucking Lars throwing around cinder blocks?
Lars. So it just felt like old school wrestling where there's still characters. They look ridiculous. But it's not. They're in their comfort zones. You have fucking Velveteen Dream just chilling nonchalantly. Purple light. I think he was in the back of a fucking limo, just chilling. Like,
and he's got the third eye sunglasses, but one of them isn't a sunglass anymore.
Yeah. You see his one eye. It's so awesome. And then you got fucking Lars just in a black room with cinder blocks everywhere.
Just smashing
and
bricks.
then it's fucking
it's his warm-up, man.
Shirtless, and all he's wearing is pants, but it looks like fucking the Hulk just shrank back down to Bruce Banner, but got stuck in between, and there's Lars Sullivan with ripped pants.
EC3 on a rooftop
the
pool.
1%er just chilling
fucking
in the sun in a suit.
Drone shots of EC3 hanging by the rooftop pool. That was great.
So it's just like little things like that. It was just like so character driven where it didn't feel odd or anything. It felt like them. It felt normal, even though who's going to be in a fucking black room throwing cinder block? Oh, that goofy looking motherfucker. So yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, I think this is going to be a great match, a fun, awesome debut for Ricochet. Ricochet's
hard to predict.
Ricochet's my pick. I want to see him win. I think it'll build up some big momentum for him, just coming out, winning the brand new championship, and it's kind of solidifying maybe this the North American Championship as the almost a junior heavyweight title. You know what I mean? Like Ricochet bringing that athletic type of style. You know, you can have these great matches with a Leo Rush if Will Ospreay ever decides to come over. Although I think he's pretty well solid in staying in New Japan right now. But tons of guys that he could have spectacular athletic matches with, and it certainly wouldn't be limited to that. But again, with him making his debut in this match, I think he'll look great. Obviously, it's fucking Ricochet, so unless the guy gets hurt, but I think him winning it would really be a nice push out of the gate for him. But what do you guys got in this one?
The Velveteen Dream is winning that title. I want to see him with a title. That's really all it is. I want to see how much cockier this fucker can be with a belt across his whatever, just walking around being like, yeah, you don't got this. It's because you're not the Velveteen Dream.
I'm with you.
I am.
I'm with you on the Ricochet, but I feel like the money in Ricochet is still introducing him into the crowd.
Sure.
The money is in the chase of the championship for him.
Sure.
That's really gonna make him shine. Fucking Velveteen Dream would be fucking great in that belt. I would love to see that, but it's almost too perfect of a heel situation because you have Killian Dane and then Lars Sullivan. They're going to take each other out of the match essentially. That just leaves EC3 standing to me.
I like the EC3 story in this too.
Perfect.
So.
Three separate picks. I like that.
I would like to think of him as more in the main event picture, but at the same time he's proven himself to WWE, but he still needs to prove himself again with WWE with his past. And what better way than, we're all in with you, kid. Here's a new championship. Lead the fucking way with it, and shine. It's your time to shine.
And there's no reason why down the road this North American title couldn't be a main event championship.
Oh, for sure.
SoCal Uncensored shows up from Ring of Honor, destroys everything.
They just ruin everything that we like.
Everything.
Just start throwing people in the crowds.
The women's championship, Ember
Women!
Moon defends against Shayna Baszler. I should clarify for people that don't listen to Strong Honor what Joe is referring to with that soundbite. There's a guy for Ring of Honor named Silas Young whose gimmick is he's the last real man. And one time he interrupted a woman who was talking about women's wrestling and cutting a passionate promo on the advancement of women's wrestling. And this fucker, he just comes in like,
Women? No one cares about women's wrestling, man.
So if you ever hear us playing that, it's not because we're for it. It's because we think it's obnoxious and silly and a lot of laughs. So being that we're talking about the women's match for the NXT Women's Championship, Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler.
No one cares about women's wrestling, man.
We care.
Yes, we do.
I like this match. I like the build for this. I like what they've been doing with Shayna Baszler. Ember Moon, her promos aren't the greatest, but man, I really like her in the ring. She has a really good fire, in my opinion. But where are you guys on this one?
I see Shayna Baszler taking that title from Ember. Could see Ember being in that women's battle royale real easily on WrestleMania day, the next day. Considering I think she showed up for the Rumble, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see the same thing with that. But like you said, the build up to the story has been amazing. Like Shayna just attacking everyone, having to have the champ come and help these people out and stand up because she's the champ. She's got to stand up to her. And Shayna's just a dick. Just a huge fucking dick with a leather jacket, which makes it even more dickish. But I see her taking that title, and I don't know if Ember moves up or not, or if they go back to this challenge, but I wouldn't be mad at that either.
Taco?
See, I feel like the build of this kind of been lackluster outside of Shayna Baszler. Like,
sure, I can see that.
Yeah, I'm not too fond of Ember Moon on the microphone and this is my story. I mean, I want to know these people's stories, but when it's someone like Ember Moon, it would be like Bray Wyatt in a sense, be like, oh, here's my story, man. Like, I kind of want that mystique to some of these characters, and Ember Moon is one of those characters where I want a certain mystique, to her. But when I see, since I was a little girl, it's my dream, my champ, it kind of takes me out of the mystique a little bit, and that's kind of the Ember Moon thing. She has the crazy eyes, the crazy look, the music, the everything on her. So I kind of feel like, I've definitely gotten sour on her, not in ring work, but just because knowing more of her in a sense, where someone like Shayna Baszler, it's just like right off the bat, like, ooh, she's a badass, she's mean, she's a dick, she's tearing it up right now. So yeah, I'm going Shayna Baszler on this one to kind of hopefully we can get Ember Moon, transition to the main roster a little bit. I think she's done what she's going to do in NXT at this time, and hopefully we can keep her in a little mystique role from now on.
I think they're going to keep her down, Ember Moon, at NXT just because, like what we're saying, the promo, just the mic work just isn't there. The most interesting thing about this week's Ember Moon promo was that she was wearing Scott Steiner's chainmail or whatever. So I think the story that they're telling is the babyface getting the revenge on the bully heel, and I think Ember Moon is going to retain here. But I like your guys' prediction. I like Shayna getting the title, but I don't feel like she's quite ready for it yet either. But she's got the right gimmick that's getting her over in the right way.
I think she needs to prove herself in this match. No, I think this needs to be that signature win that gets all of us to go, all right, she's champ. Like, we can accept that because she had this match, but like, she can't be having the matches like she even had in, the Mae Young Classic. They were a little bit sloppy. The only thing that looked good was the setup into her finisher. So we need to see more out of her, I think.
And I think there's a big possibility of another story here as well. If she loses the championship with everything that's going on with Ronda Rousey on the main roster, I wouldn't be surprised if Shayna Baszler loses here and then goes up to the main roster, hanging out with Paul Heyman and Ronda Rousey as part of the former UFC 4 horsewomen or whatever. So I think that's a big possibility with those two, doing their thing on the road together, learning and improving together. I think possibly.
Ronda's not doing house shows or none of that, so she has that time to go back to Florida and train.
That's
and everything.
true too.
And,
so.
I believe her and the family probably moved back to Florida. Yeah, if there's buku money, they can go back and forth. So.
Yeah.
But she has nothing but time to be able to go back to Florida and train at the Performance Center. So I see Shayna Baszler just kind of being like, here's your dominant champion again. We can get rid of that Ember Moon thing and kind of being that cocky heel, and who's gonna be the next woman to step up after that?
Right. All right, then.
Where do you go with Ember Moon after this match?
Well, that's the thing. That's why I think Ember Moon keeps the championship here, because I don't feel like she's ready for the main roster. And honestly, I don't really feel like Shayna is either, but I could see them wanting to tell that story because there's a really good natural part of the story there, too. A couple more matches here. The NXT Championship match, Aleister Black versus Andrade Cien Almas. This should be really good. Cien's been killing it. Aleister Black getting the big push right out of the gate. Just great stuff all the way. I really think Black's taking the title here. I think it's his Mania moment, winning the championship. He's had some losses along the way, or just the one loss in that tag match. So he's been getting the big push here. Could he lose? Certainly. I've been loving the Andrade run, of course, with Zelina there. There's the skullduggery potential. So, but I my emotional and my official pick is Aleister Black. I want to see him win. I'm hoping he wins. That's my prediction.
My emotional and regular pick is still going to be Andrade Cien Almas, because that motherfucker is keeping that title. I don't think they want to move him up. I don't think so either. I think he's either got to learn better English or Selena's just got to do all the talking when it comes to it. When his promos are in Spanish, yeah, I love it. Like, I love that intense promo we saw tonight from him, just screaming at the mic in Spanish. This is my title. I will make you respect me. Mm-hmm. So I like that idea of him, but that's not going to work on the main roster. I mean, the
Zelina thing will work on the main roster.
The Zelina thing will work, but I just don't think they want to move him up yet. But I think Andrade keeps that title and keeps Aleister chasing.
Taco.
God damn, this match is going to be so fun.
Tough, yeah, right?
I look at Black, and he's someone that, to me, does not need a championship around his waist to really stick out. The dude is so over and so badass and so maniacal that he's someone that can tear it up in NXT for a couple more months and easily transition to a main roster role and still be part of the fucking crew and not stick out, like a sore thumb and fucking steamroll over someone like Baron Corbin like there's no tomorrow. Like it's just he can move up those charts quicker than someone like Corbin is, or Dillinger, or Zack Ryder even, or Mojo. Like he just has that certain look and appeal and mic work that's just like the championship around his waist and not really make him pop out any more than he really does. Andrade is just fucking killing it right now. I'm fucking going Andrade on this one.
But with Aleister Black, how many guys can cut naked promos and get away with it on NXT?
It's true. Hey, he looked comfortable.
Exactly. He's got to be the champion, right? Cutting naked promos? Are you kidding me?
But yeah, I think this is going to be another match where it's just like people are really be like, God damn, this Andrade guy.
Finally, the money match, the one we're all here for. Johnny Gargano in an unsanctioned match because he's fired, faces Tommaso Ciampa to get his job back and to get his revenge, to get the closure on the year-plus long story that they've been telling. I love it. We're getting it. Here it is, unsanctioned match at NXT TakeOver. I've heard a couple of really cool ideas as far as speculation on this match. Because, okay, so first of all, is this the main event of NXT TakeOver? I think it could be.
It should be.
Also, since it's unsanctioned, what if, so after the championship match, okay, it's unsanctioned match time, we're not going to have any part of this, so no announcers, no fancy ring introductions or anything like that.
Going old school Mankind Undertaker boiler room brawl.
Yes! Just the two of them wrestling in the ring, but yeah, no commentary. I think that would be intense and unique and make the whole thing stand out. I mean, it's going to be standout anyway. And I wish I could take credit for this take, and I don't remember who I heard it from, but it was on some podcast somewhere. But I love this idea.
That's a really good idea.
I think that would be a really cool way to make it stand out and just seem different.
Well, it's like when you don't get it so much with New Japan anymore, but just 2 years ago watching the New Japan shows, they had matches pop up. There's no announcers, barely any fucking, just dead quiet, and the matches were just going on. And that'd be awesome. So you can hear every fucking scream, every hold, every slam, every little detail you can hear in there.
You can appreciate the wrestling.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. But either way, even if they probably won't do something like that, but you never know. Either way, it's going to be great. Probably the main event. Probably should be, because it's going to be tough to follow, I imagine. It should be good. It's got to be Gargano. I think Gargano wins, gets his revenge, comes back to NXT, triumphant return. Tommaso sells. He's angry. He's upset. He continues to meddle in Gargano's business along the way until he gets called up or whatever. I don't necessarily want to see either of these guys go to 205 Live anytime soon, although would probably mean better money and better stuff for all of them.
With the way 205 Live's going, I don't mind seeing Gargano go there. Right. I think Tommaso has the ability and obviously the size to be a big champion, whereas Johnny, an NXT champion, yes. Heavyweight champion in WWE, probably not. Maybe one of the smaller belts, but I don't see him holding that WWE title.
No, I mean,
so but like I would love to see him on 205
He's got the it factor to do it, I think, but it's just a matter of would they do that with him on the main roster, and
Correct.
would he get over at that level? I think he would, but I see too much speculation and too many. He is very small. He would be a great fit for a 205 Live, but is he the kind of guy that would be so over to get that whole brand more over? That'd be a good question too. So, but I think Gargano gets the win here. What do you guys? Did you get yours in there, Joe?
Gargano.
Joe, Taco. It's been a long show.
I'm going Tommaso on this one.
Tommaso, and then
keeping
Gargano
that heat.
go up.
Yeah, kind of. I don't see Gargano as a champion at this point in NXT unless, I don't know, he's had plenty of opportunity, plenty of chances, amazing fucking matches. He's almost said and done all he can in NXT at this point to me.
Yeah, but you got that new North American Championship running around now.
You got plenty of blood going for that.
yeah. I don't know. I think there's some fresh stuff. I mean, Gargano's been wrapped up in this Andrade Cien Almas and he's back in the Tommaso Ciampa story now. So he's been wrapped up in that for pretty much a year now. So I think there's a lot of fresh matchups for Gargano. But again, I could see it going either way for sure. So. All right.
Holy moly.
What a show. What a week it's been.
What a week it's been. So much to talk about.
What a week it's going to be next week.
Bituminous.
It's going to be a lot of stuff, a lot of fun stuff to watch. Yeah, exactly. What is that? What does any of that mean? Okay, so let's, before we get out of here, let's see. Make sure you check out, I know we went long, but if you got time, you're interested in the Strong Honor stuff, interested in New Japan, Ring of Honor, there's a lot of great stuff going on over there. So check out stronghonor.com, @StrongHonor on Twitter. But check out this podcast on Twitter. Spread the word, please. Get the word out there. @BPW Podcast on Twitter. Facebook.com/Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. Email the show if you want. bestprowrestlingpodcast@gmail.com. Follow me @Tommy Stryker. Spell Stryker with a Y. Make sure you check out sltdwrestling.com for lots of cool fan articles. That fantasy league that we were talking about, a free fantasy league, and they do
chose number 1.
And they do predictions leagues for each of the big pay-per-views too. So fun stuff going on over there
lost
at
it.
sltd.com.
I've lost it.
Taco, where can people find you?
I just want to first say, everyone have fun, party hard for WrestleMania, be safe.
Yes.
Andrew WK that shit. Boom. Follow me on Twitter @HGREV. Taco?
And I'm just going to do a quick throw out to my buddy's band, Reaping Asmodea. If you are a metal fan and you don't watch wrestling, go check them out at the Terminal Bar in Minneapolis this Saturday, the 7th.
Strong drinks.
And you can follow me @Joe, BPWP. That's that Joe, Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
That's it. Bye.
Peace.
Worldwide! Keep on sucking.
He did it. He did it.
Down the hatch.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that during the show, but I had to drink that because it's milk.